Good evening, students, parents, colleagues, and friends, and welcome to the Pine School's Baccalaureate service for the class of 2025, our 17th graduating class. Baccalaureate is a traditional interfaith service held prior to commencement. Although Pine as a school is not religiously affiliated, we nonetheless uphold spiritual and character values that are ubiquitous in world religions. It is fitting that we gather as a community to reflect and pause in this spiritual space as we send these soon-to-be graduates into the world. Seniors, on the eve of commencement, there is much to celebrate, but also a little bit to mourn, as family and friends who have loved you and cared for you now offer well wishes as they let you go. My colleagues and I are most assuredly proud of you and excited for what your future holds. However, we find ourselves getting a little misty-eyed as we gaze at the 40 of you, soon to be alumni of the Pine School. For it means you will leave our school and our classrooms. Thus, we sit in this place of quiet and calm to honor the closing of one door that necessarily comes with the opening of another. The emotional juxtaposition is complicated. Seniors, as we mark the end of your time as upper school students and move towards commencement, let me start with a hope for you for the future. It is my sincere wish that you take with you from the Pine School a genuine love of learning and never let your curiosity fade away. You are a unique class with all your wide-ranging interests and passions, from sports to music, from business to writing, from engineering to education. It is marvelous to think about all that lies ahead for this class. And as you hold onto your innate interests, as you grow and change through the years, perhaps you will think about how you can teach and learn from others and connect your passions to elevate the world around you. You are moving on from being supportive role models to your Pine School community, and now must decide how you will be role models for those in the new community. My hope is that those who come to know you in your later future will look up to you as people who are always seeking to learn a little bit more, that they know you as lifelong learners. The professor and author, Adam Grant, noted in his book, Think Again, great thinkers are aware that each answer raises new questions, and the quest for knowledge is never finished. A mark of lifelong learners is recognizing that they can learn something from everyone they meet. We've taught you a valuable lesson if new people meet you and find in you a sincere curiosity and interest in learning what they have to teach you. For us, as the social creatures we are, we come together in this beautiful chapel not to celebrate the academic, athletic, and artistic accomplishments you have garnered individually through your time at the Pine School, but instead to affirm our values and your character, to bask in friendships, generosity, and trust. Let this service tonight be a quiet moment to reflect on the path you have walked so far. I invite you to prepare internally for the journal you will begin tomorrow after commencement. Helping us honor the class of 2025 this evening, we have two senior speakers who were selected to speak by their peers. Please welcome Lucas De Silva and Genevieve Waters. It's appropriate that these two speak to you together tonight because they have worked in tandem to do so much for the Pine School. Lucas and Genevieve are outstanding academicians, tireless organizers, and terrific friends that role model for many. Genevieve and Lucas.
Thank you so much, Ms. Catherine. Good evening. We are Genevieve Waters and Lucas De Silva, and we are so honored to be up here, representing our class and all that we have accomplished during our time at Pine. We would like to begin by thanking you, our classmates, parents, and teachers, for making these 4 full years and more special. As friends and peers, we have grown so close that I can confidently say we are prepared. Before Dr. Linden speaks at this podium and makes us cry, we wanted to reflect on our many happy memories together at Pine. When we were chosen by our classmates to speak, we had no idea what to say. Most graduation speeches are words of wisdom, advice, and encouragement for looking to what the future holds. We have no idea what is going to happen over the next 4 years. We have absolutely no doubt that our college times will be some of the best, as every single adult has told me during the college chat. But we are not sure what advice would be helpful to send us off to, as we are also faced with this huge uncertainty without any experience in the real world.
Instead, to help us with this task, we turned our backs on the future, which may not be the best thing to do with commencement tomorrow. And we turned to our past at Pine. Over the past month, we have quite consistently reached out to each family looking for some of their fondest memories of their student. We are very sorry for flooding your inboxes, but Genevieve and I have enjoyed reading the stories you have shared with us. These glimpses into the life of a high school student have captured moments of fear, like long falls down the staircase on the first day of school, to stress with applications to internship after internship in preparation for what was supposed to be a chill summer, to moments of true joy with happy tears in the parking lot after acceptances into a dream school. The vast majority of these stories conveyed the family-like community that we have developed at Pine.
On my first day at Pine, dressed in my longest khaki skirt, stiff dress day shirt, and 2 small ballet flats, I entered my advisory period. I had thought that homeroom was only something that existed in tacky 80s rom-coms, but I was wrong as I was greeted by the smiling face of Dr. Vickers, my advisor for the past 4 years. One of my favorite things about Pine, and something that made me feel at home even from my first visit, was the friendly nature of each and every faculty member. With Miss Leitengarver greeting each new student at admissions events, ice cream socials, and shadowing days, that first real day feels a little less scary. Although the adjustment from a public to private school was hard, as we still struggle to not chew gum in class and understand what in the world a dress issue entails, it was so incredibly worth it in the end, not just for the academics or the khaki skirts, but for the amazing teachers who guided us with patience and purpose, and the family-like community that turned to strange places with second.
If I had to choose my favorite Pine School tradition, other than field day, homecoming, prom, definitely the speech, I would say OCE. But actually, we can all agree that off-campus education is where we weed out the weak. I mean, do you remember that one kayaking trip? Karis got stuck under a bridge. Elena flipped Kyle's kayak. My kayak sank with John's phone still in it. And there was a thunderstorm. After that one, we all ended up sick. Not to mention that one sophomore year trip to the Citadel, where we all agreed that being a knob for our first year might be too much to handle. But in that same sophomore year trip, where we all traveled in a bus for hours on end each day, we will never forget when Jace lost in an arm wrestle to Dr. Lehman. OCEs also brought us the New York trip, where exotic food was tried and either hated or loved. Hostel dorming was required, setting us up for college, and many hard tasks were completed, like reading Google Maps and navigating the complex subway system of New York. Anyway, I know thinking about these memories made you laugh at least a little bit in your head. Those uneasy and tiring days that were spent together, away from our normal routines of Starbucks in the morning and sleeping well at night, or at least not having to deal with snoring. Maybe didn't teach us too much educational things, so to say, but lots of practical things, like how to deal with strangers in Times Square together, which is something we'll be more likely to remember anyway.
It's getting kind of late, and I don't know about you all, but I'm feeling kind of hungry, as did our entire class for the past 4 years. Hungry for knowledge, I guess, but we also cannot forget the first period chem strawberry acais, noodle world and sake sushi gossip sessions, and the pre-AP exam class-wide food runs. Although these trips have cost quite literally our entire minimum wage paychecks, they brought us all closer together, bonding over $7 coffees or chicken mini platters. And of course, we cannot forget the hearty flip dining lunches, shout out to Spice Explore Tuesdays, and the absolutely insane things that would be said at those cafeteria tables. All the meals we shared weren't just about the food, they were about the laughs, conversations, and connections that brought us closer together.
Who doesn't like good competition? I mean, we all watched the FIFA World Cup during class and spent time watching our favorite team's highlights whenever we could. Or maybe that was just some of us. But either way, the only day I've seen half of us completely fighting the other half was during field day, our own competition. And as a proud blue team member, I can easily say that class of 2025 is owned by the blue team. But we can argue about that later. It's fine. Field day in itself has been a story of growth for all of us. It started when we would follow each year's seniors into the school in the cars of random upperclassmen, an older sibling, or an innocent bystander parent. We would be fully dressed in either blue or gold, ready to put our lives on the line. Then it transitioned into our awkward stages, where we would be too cool to dress for field day. But then finally, or more unexpectedly, we became those seniors that we had once looked up to, having to drive those random underclassmen into the school and lead them into battle. The night before was when field day really started. Mustering cars, hot dogging yards, and sealing the prized blue flag, but not for long, of course. The next day was when we put all our bodies on the line, overlooking our accident-prone selves and leaving everything on the field, just as we had many years ago. By the end of the day, our blue or gold dirt stains, face paint smeared, we all felt accomplished. We had become the people that are able to lead the masses into field day, leading what now felt like our younger siblings, connected by our want to win. We all became the older siblings in the school that raised us, a true family.
Honestly, we could not be more grateful for the time that we have had here, especially with each of you. The fact that the stories we told our parents at the dinner table or on car rides home share the true meaning of being a part of the Pine School family tells so much about a student's perspective of Pine. Aside from being a fancy college prep school, it fosters a community of growth, family, and love. You are all some of the most impressive, hardworking, and dedicated people we have ever met, and we know that you have such bright futures ahead of you, and we are so ready to see what comes of it. As you carry on through the next 4 years and into the real world, we hope that you will hold our love close to your heart. And remember that you will always have a family, not only at home, but also with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Genevieve and Lucas, for your thoughtful words and reflective look at years gone by. Sharing these memories as you have and reminding each other of the family you have created is in perfect keeping as we pause to take time tonight and reflect on the past and the time that you all have spent together. Now, for our scripture readings, I would like to invite Becca Bashan and Jane Hadley Critchfield, both members of the class of 2026, to the podium.
Proverbs chapter 4, verses 10 through 15. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction. Do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn from it and go on your way.
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 16. How much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver. Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 12. Wisdom is a shelter, as money is a shelter. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves those who have it.
Thank you, Rebecca and Jane Hadley, for sharing these readings. Those of us gathered tonight sincerely hope we have set out our soon-to-be graduates on a path of wisdom, a rich and rewarding path indeed. For our musical performance this evening, I'd like to introduce Shelby Carlstrom, Lily Christou, and Alice Galavo, who will be playing Ideal, accompanied by Miss Dorothy Castle.
join in the response, we offer our thanks and praise that is in your program as I read the litany. For the values that our school at its best imparts, love of learning and of truth, an understanding of the essential unity of human knowledge and of humankind, a sense of community, self-respect, and respect for others, a commitment to rationality and sanity, and an appreciation of beauty.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the conversations that help us understand ourselves, that make us realize that we are not alone, that entertain and stimulate and upset us. Conversations that broaden our vision and understanding in classrooms, in art rooms, in locker rooms, that force us to mature and think and grow.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the images and memories of the Pine School that will stay with us for the rest of our lives, coming over the hill and seeing the campus unfold, looking out from the library windows to the field beyond, field day and games, performances and fun.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the intellectual skills that the Pine School develops, the ability to think logically, to make sound judgments based on evidence, to solve problems by careful analysis and discussion, to develop abstract ideas and relate them to concrete reality, to appreciate historical and cultural context, to communicate thoughts and feelings effectively through language, music, and art.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For gatherings planned and spontaneous that bring us together, for long talks in which our hearts open up and understanding was born, for relationships with each other, ones that were long-lasting and even the ones so important at the time, which are vivid no more, yet still remembered.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For trips on planes, on buses and cars, on foot or by canoe, that took us away from here and then brought us back. For the places that intrigued our curiosity and for the familiar, unusual places that made us comfortable. For new people, for the places we met and shared, for our school on hills of sugar sand.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the laughter that makes our seriousness less difficult, and which gives friendship new levels of joy and makes memories of friends so full of life, and for the jokes, good and bad, told once or repeated endlessly, which make life more whimsical and often uncover wisdom.
We offer our thanks and praise.
For the times when children are generous by including their parents in their growth and adventure, for the times when parents show their wisdom by knowing that the way to hold on to children is by letting them go. For the experiences that bring the hearts of children and parents and teachers closer together in understanding and friendship.
We offer our thanks and praise.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Tonight, the senior class has chosen to hear from Dr. Peter Lehman, a member of the Prince School's English faculty and AP English literature teacher. Dr. Lehman joined the Prince School in 2021, moving with his family from Los Angeles, California. Dr. Lehman holds a PhD in comparative literature from the University of California, Los Angeles, and a master's degree in humanities from the University of Chicago. Through his studies, he developed exceptional proficiency in both Spanish and Portuguese, so teaches an upper-level Spanish class at Pine as well. Additionally, Dr. Lehman is our boys varsity soccer assistant coach. It's easy to see why the class of 2025 would be keen to hear him address them this evening. Dr. Lehman.
Thank you, Ms. Caffrey. Thank you all gathered here tonight, family and friends and graduates, faculty and staff of Pine School, and of course, above all, the class of 2025. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this grand occasion. It is an honor to have been chosen by this class to speak to you tonight, but it also felt like an impossibility. How could I adequately tie together so many memories of the past and then provide some small grain of wisdom for the future? This seemed as impossible as avoiding more tears. They will never be. But as often is the case, we have to probe a little further. Why did it feel an impossible task? Well, for one, because many of your memories at Pine stretch so much further back, especially for the lifers. I do not have the long view of Mr. Carlson or Mr. Tulliver. Moreover, my memories, like many memories, are partial, fragmentary, individual. But not only. Your memories in this time of transition are personal and your experience unique. This is a wonderful thing. Luckily, you have and will hear wisdom and memories from peers, other speakers, family members. Nonetheless, we have shared stories and part of this journey. I was a freshman too of sorts at this school. Part of me now will graduate with you. And as my AP Lit students will groaningly recognize, characters or people, quote, may be inspired by the past, haunted by the past, unable to let go of the past, or motivated by the past to craft a better future. Sorry for quoting college work. I chose the last for our journey tonight, motivated by our past to craft a better future. So I return not only to memories, but also to literature, to the stories we have shared. And for reasons that hopefully will become a little clearer, I found elements to organize these memories in an unexpected place, the Odyssey. But what, you might rightly ask, does your journey through the Pine School have to do with this ancient Greek epic that most of you read as freshmen? It is true that your journey through Pine has far more differences from an epic tale than similarities. But it is the experience of this Odyssey shared with you that puts some wind in the sails tonight. It provides the materials I will use to build a compass and chart a hesitant path. A little odyssey of memories, or a memory of your little odyssey through Pine. For, reflecting on the end of your journey here and the beginning of a new one, I was struck by this wonderful time of transition, of endings and beginnings, of lots of lasts and new firsts, of the no longer and the not yet. A transition can be both sad and exciting. After tomorrow, you will no longer be a senior, an upper school student at Pine. Look around. Take it in. No longer, and perhaps never again, will you be gathered with this same group of peers and friends and family. But you will always be a Pine student, and this will not be the last of your ceremonies or celebrations. I'm grateful for having been able to share stories with all of you within books as well as beyond them. In books, we've gone to the bottom with Nell and Sula and contemplated the bonds and betrayals of friendship. We traveled with Marlowe on a steamboat through the fog, mist, and brooding gloom to meet the wrecked plunderer Kurtz. We maybe felt shipwrecked for a little too long on an island called Tempest, with an aging magician presiding Prospero-like over the classroom, attention lured by the follies of court jesters, while some still continue to march steadfast towards their goal or work real magic, like Caliban or Ariel, both longing finally to be free. And further back, to the ruddy plains of Laguna Pueblo and Teo, to the surveilled space of Oceania with the rebels Winston and Julia, you watched Victor Frankenstein bring his creature to life. You wielded the axe of the Round Table with Sir Gawain the Green Knight, grappled with Grendel and Beowulf, and still farther back you fasted and feasted as freshmen. You inhabited the human and inhuman bug life with Kafka's Gregor, the personal legend of Santiago, and the harrowing journey of Odysseus. A memory of our little odyssey. When I arrived on the sunny island of Pine and encountering your freshman selves, I wondered, what strange creatures are these? And I'm sure you thought something similar of me. Who is this odd being washed up on our shores from another coast, another sea? Looking back now, though, these strange creatures are the unique individuals I see before me. And I have learned many things from you, class of 2025, things that often weave together literature, language, and life. But perhaps the most important in our little odyssey, you taught me how to turn a table into a ship. Towards the end of reading the Odyssey, our freshman crew of voyagers made a proposal to me. Instead of an essay, they would write and perform skits from later episodes of Homer's epic. I acquiesced. In these skits, our freshmen turned the seminar table into Odysseus' ship. The flashes of my memories a quiet director orchestrating a script with virtuosity, mythical creatures popping their heads through holes in the seminar table, and Odysseus tied to an imaginary mast, standing astride our table ship and bellowing a little too loudly. We missed it. But this creative and slightly mutinous performance taught me some important lessons. One, no more standing on the table. But it also taught me about the suspension of ends and beginnings, the suspension of inevitability. For as I said, this is a time of transition between first and last, no longers and not yets. At this point in the Odyssey, Odysseus must pass through a strait bordered on each side by the mythical creatures Scylla and Charybdis. You probably, if you haven't heard of the phrase or the expression being caught between Scylla and Charybdis, have heard being caught between a rock and a hard place, or having to choose between the lesser of two evils. Now, there will be many times in college and in life when you are faced with difficult situations, of course. Perhaps two choices, both of which seem bad, just one a little less worse. But the myth makes the two choices seem inevitable, that another option or way is impossible. If I can turn the ship of our little Odyssey back into a table for a moment, what I think our crew here taught me, and perhaps us too, is to question this inevitability or the impossibility of another way. This is the time of transition, between the no longer and the not yet, between endings and beginnings, when nothing is set in stone. Your future is open, a glimmering horizon. I alluded before that thinking about our little pine Odyssey, the journey of your class as a kind of epic is an exaggeration. An epic involves, quote, celebrating the great deeds of one or more legendary heroes in a grand, ceremonious style. Are we not, though, celebrating your great deeds in a fairly grand, ceremonious style? And rightly so. Surely, legendary heroes is a stretch. Yet, in thinking back over some of our memories and watching our academicians, athletes, musicians, and artists take the stage in the last few days, I am a little less sure this is only hyperbole. You are the heroes of our little Odyssey. Perhaps you have not battled with or narrowly escaped from mythical creatures, but think back. You have ridden on the dorsal fins of dolphins across the surface of the Key. You have braved treacherous waters and mighty storms at the Whitewater Rafting Center in Riverbend Park. You have capsized boats, and some were saved by the good graces of our guides or, as housemen, the benevolent gods of our water adventures. Boys, you were never in danger. You tumbled into the trees and ravines on your mountain bikes, but got back up and rode on. You learned how to reach a balance on a platform in the forest and sang about it. We are all nice together. You supported each other on ropes, arms interlocked, and back to Riverbend Park. You held metal oars on kayaks in the middle of the river as lightning split the sky in two. When we saw our lives flashing before us, clearly you are favored. No vengeful sluice struck us down that day. You not only won homecoming your senior year, but your junior year as well. A minor tragedy for the senior class of 2024, but an epic victory for you. Whether blindfolded on Brooklyn Bridge or trampling through the soaked streets of Harlem in garbage bags, you trusted in all of your senses and each other to read, feel, and take a taste of the unknown city. You gathered your forces, somehow convinced the head and assistant head of school, and some of us doubtful advisors, to have a senior sleepover in the gym, and you pulled it off beautifully. Captain João, the night athlete errant, along with JP, Lucas, and Richie, helped lead the boys' varsity soccer team to the third state victory. And the senior girls, Sid and Kiara, go to the state finals and scored second. Another historic achievement. Some of you racked in so many record stats that you retired jersey numbers, Wade and Emily. Some made it onto the stage again for honors, took your APs, finished your classes, and all of your work, or almost all of your work. You strengthened community through your honors project. You received accolades for your attitude and graciousness on multiple OCE trips. Some of you learned valuable new everyday skills, like how to use a plunger to unclog a hotel toilet. You turned a parking lot into a barbecue. which brings me back in our little epic of memories, back to Odysseus and to our final farewell. Now, after Odysseus first passes through the straits of Scylla and Charybdis, losing 6 of his crew, his ship lands on the island with the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios. Odysseus has been warned, do not eat those cattle. Of course, the gods strand them there. The hungry crew listens to the mutinous Eurylochus, and they eat the cattle. When they leave the island, Zeus' storm tosses them into Mount Charybdis, and only Odysseus survives. But remember, this is a time of transition, between an ending and your new beginnings, between the no longers and the not yets. Mythical inevitability does not rule here. And in this suspended allegory, you are not the starving crew. You'll all have meal plans, of course, college and DoorDash, at least until your parents suspend your accounts. I've seen you on those. Your loving parents and family, the gods in our allegory, who have long favored and supported you and helped provide you this opportunity. You, class of 2025, are our little Odysseus. Odysseus, recall, goes off to rest far from his hungry crew. He prays to the gods so he can discover some new path off the island. And they bring him sleep, which ultimately saves him from the fate of his starving crew. You, seniors, are going off to college. And since you are not, or not yet, part of the starving crew, take the time in your studies to reflect, to dream, to construct your compasses out of your unique skills and passions, your newly acquired knowledge, and find your routes to navigate the stormy seas of this complex and changing world. And continue to defy the gods of inevitability, of impossibility. Return to your hungry crew and teach them to forage, or reconstruct a boat like Duke and write about it. Tell those gods that your people are hungry, and allow us some of your sacred cattle. Tell them we will turn this parking lot into a churrasco, un asado. We will enlarge the circle around this fire, all of us, and make a barbecue to feed our hungry people. So, my voyagers, our voyagers, this is our farewell. And I and we are all so proud of you. Go into this world with your compasses. I hope to hear about where they take you and what you see. Farewell. But remember what farewell originally means. It's not a final goodbye, but a message of good wishes. May you fare well. That is, travel well on your journeys. Farewell, Knights of 2025. Congratulations.
That was remarkable, Dr. Lehman. Thank you so much. If I'm meant to be marooned on the island of Pine, I'm glad it was probably too. The American philosopher and educator John Dewey said, "I believe finally that education must be conceived as a continuous reconstruction of experience, that the process and the goal of education are one and the same thing." Seniors, even though your time in our classrooms is finished, hopefully we are still offering a few lessons with the carefully chosen words you've heard tonight and will hear tomorrow as well. As we close out this baccalaureate service together, I would like to thank St. Christopher's Church and Father Hines, Miss Bernadette Lindell, the organist, and those who have participated in making this evening's program a special time of quiet celebration and reflection. Seniors, I wish you and your families a pleasant evening as you prepare for tomorrow's commencement ceremony. We will see the seniors in the morning at honor pinning, and the formal class photo. I would hate for anyone to be left out. Please remember your mortarboard, tassel, honor cords, and wrinkle-free robe. Parents, please be your best and polite, pleasant selves as you negotiate your seating tomorrow. The doors to the auditorium will be open at 9:30 a.m. I request that the seating closest behind the rows reserved for seniors go to immediate family, parents, and siblings. If you have more extended family with you, perhaps they would consider sitting a little further back. Before Ms. Lettengarber gives our benediction this evening, I would like to end my remarks with gratitude. I'm thankful for you, the class of 2025. You've elevated our school through your commitment to Pine and to each other. I hope you are really starting to feel the adventure that awaits, the way the adults who love you are sending you on from the Pine School. We will undoubtedly miss you, but we're so proud of you and excited for the opportunities you've earned next. You're a wonderful group of students, class of 2025. With many in this group who have been together in school for over a decade, there is a tangible feeling of family and familiarity that this group embodies. I expect to see great things from you as alumni. Be well, students, and continue to learn in school and out. Be good to each other now and to new friends you are sure to make in the future. I look forward to continuing to celebrate with you tomorrow. And now I invite Ms. Lettengarber to the podium. Please bow your heads. Let me humbly suggest, in the midst of the whirlwind that is this weekend, that you take a moment to pause and let your blessings catch up with you. Take a moment to notice that family and friends, loved ones, teachers, and mentors are all here in this moment, in the same place. Take a moment to notice that you would not be here without them. Take a moment to be grateful for them and for those who cannot be with us. Grateful for the gift of education, and if you're so inclined, grateful to God, the source of life and learning. And may you go with intention and purpose to make the world a better place. May you go moving on from this place of comfort and support, knowing that you are not alone. Though the distances you go may be far, know that you carry us and each other with you, wherever you are, and may you go knowing that we will be with you when you return as well. But most of all, may you go from this place in the spirit of gratitude, knowing that you are lucky and blessed. And may you go thus hoping that you might be a blessing to those around you. And as you go, may God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God look upon you with favor and grant you peace. Amen.